Greetings, Namibia, and welcome to another public information sharing session featuring, of course, that's the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. My name is Ndishisha Mfungu, and we're coming to you on the sidelines of the 24th edition of the Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair. Of course, throughout this week, we have been unpacking a number of issues pertaining to the Ministry's mandate, of course, engaging them on how they are resolving some of those issues, from fuel smuggling as well as the solar revolving fund. And today we unpack a very topical matter, which is, of course, that is MSME as well as the informal economy development, the development thereof. And we've invited, of course, a very esteemed panel to help us understand what exactly is happening where MSMEs are concerned, as well as the broader informal economy. And I'd like to introduce our panel. First and foremost, on my very far right, we have Ms. Helen Haipinge, who is the Acting Corporate Communications Officer at the Namibia Standards Institute. A very good day to you, Ms. Haipinge, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Good day.
Of course, seated next to Ms. Haipinge, I have Mr. Shikongeni Ntinda, who is the Chief Economist at the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. He's here as well to, of course, unpack this very topical matter. Mr. Ntinda, a very good day to you, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
And of course, last but certainly not least, and seated right next to me is Ms. Elsie Kanime, who is the Senior Business Registration Officer at that is the Business and Intellectual Property Authority, or BIPA, if you will. A very good day to you, and thank you so much for being with us as well.
Good morning. Thank you.
Wonderful. I think I'll start with our hosts, our partners and custodians, of course, of this very important industry. Mr. Ntinda, first and foremost, talk to us about the mandate of the ministry where the MSME and informal sector is concerned here.
Yes, Ndishishi, thank you once again. The Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy has the mandate to promote industrial development and also to manage geological, mineral, as well as energy resources.
Yes.
For inclusive socio-economic development. Now, zooming into the industrial development, where the micro, small and medium enterprises function is resorting, we have the responsibility for us to develop and also manage the MSME sector. We do this by designing appropriate policies as well as programs that are aimed to advance the sector.
How would you describe the state of the sector at present here?
Well, if we look at micro, small and medium enterprises sector, whether at global level or domestic, it's one of the sector that employs more people in terms, because if you are talking on average, we are talking about the labor force of around 70% globally is under MSMEs. So that's the pivotal role that the sector plays, and also in terms of income generation, and also the contribution for it now in terms of our economy, in terms of the GDP, even though perhaps we can say in Namibia, if we look at the statistics available from the NSA, it's not contributing maybe significant, but still is reasonable, because it's still less than 15% contribution to the economy. Yeah, so it plays a crucial role in the economy. Yeah.
I'd like to keep that 15% in our minds and just make a note of it, because we'll come back in a bit. And when we speak about the formalization of course, the sector, how that potential 15% can increase. I'd like to turn my attention to, of course, our Business and Intellectual Property Authority, who are, of course, the custodians of making sure that a business is registered, that the business is legitimate. But of course, the MSME sector has also caused you a lot of headaches. First and foremost, Ms. Kanime, talk to us about what BIPA makes of the current state of the MSME sector here.
Good morning.
Thank you. Now, BIPA, our mandate is just to do business registration and to register intellectual property rights. That's our mandate.
Fantastic.
Yes.
As far as this particular sector is concerned, what are some of the things that you've come across as BIPA? How would you describe things as they stand right now?
Things as they stand right now, the business registration is really the one that we are dealing with, especially here in the northern part of the country.
Yeah.
We are this youth program that was just launched.
Yes.
So we have a stand here at the trade fair, and we also have an office at Ongwediva, David Chikomba. So the young generation, the youth are coming through. They are registering their business. The name reservation is done at our stand, BIPA. If you want to register your company, you come through. You only pay 75 Namibian dollar for the name reservation. You complete the form we have them, or you can download them from our website. Then you just attach a copy, certified ID copy. Once the name is approved in a day, you do the next step where it's registration of business, where you to inquire your certificate of registration, which is CC1 that you complete in triplicate. You attach a consent letter from a registered accounting officer, then you pay 150 Namibian dollar at the stand. Then after that, you get your registration. Your business is done, registered. From there, you just to comply, where you have to be pay your annual duties every year once you have a registered entity. That is what is happening, and the influx is really coming. They are coming through.
Really
the youth are coming through.
That is good to hear. I think BIPA has really simplified the process of registering a business, made it also very affordable, especially for our micro, small and medium enterprises. Ms. Aipinge, I would like to turn my focus to you, of course, as custodians of standards, making sure that we meet certain criteria, very important as business owners, etc. But here's the thing, the MSME sector is one that often falls below those standards. Talk to us about what you make of the state of the sector, but also, of course, some of the things that you've picked up within the MSME sector here.
Okay, thank you so much. Namibian Standard Institution is a national standard body which was established by the Act of Parliament, Act number 18 of 2005, in which its mandate is to adopt, publish, and the standard. So with the SME, our NSI safeguard and is just a custodian to ensure that all the products and services are safe to the consumer. Yes.
Mr. Ntinda, just before I get to your part on me, remaining with you, Ms. Aipinge, what has been some of the observations of the NSI? Maybe you can speak to us about some of the situations on the ground, especially when you come to the informal sector. We know that it's called the informal sector for a reason. Talk to us about what you've observed on the ground as far as adherence is concerned, compliance is concerned, etc.
Recently, we picked up that most of the SME, they have no idea. To start off, they have no idea if there is NSI, there is safeguard and regulates, then also sale and train standard. So what we have done, we are working with the Ministry of Industry, Mine and Energy to ensure that we are doing awareness training, especially to the SME. So we started with that, and most of the SME, they are showing interest, because now it's also open a market to them to go through the shelf of most of the shop.
Very much indeed.
Yes.
Mr. Ntinda, we often hear the phrase, the formalization of the informal sector. Talk to us about some of perhaps the policy and structural challenges that exist that make it difficult to formalize the informal economy. But what does a formal, informal economy look like? Maybe you can just speak to us about that as well.
Yes, thank you, Ndishishi. The ministry, since it has the mandate to develop the micro, small and medium enterprises sector, came up with the first policy in 1997, where it's trying to assist in developing the micro, small and medium enterprises. And this policy by then in 1997 also contained some interventions in terms of programs, which include training and mentorship. As time evolves, we came to revise the policy in 2016, where also now we have to include the definition when one is talking of a micro, small and medium enterprises in Namibia. What are we talking about? And also we have come up, apart from the flagship program or legacy program that has been there, for instance, training and mentorship, we have also tried to incorporate, for instance, the Empretec Namibia, which is a United Nations flagship. We just replicate it here locally, where we are trying to work on the behavioral change of micro, small and medium enterprises. And what we have also done, we have also developed other interventions such as grants in terms, for instance, production equipment, and also grants that are looking on efficiency and also competitiveness of MSMEs. And we have also developed programs that works on rental spaces for micros, so that micro, small and medium enterprises will be able to operate throughout the country at an affordable rate, rented infrastructure. Now, the formalization, it has its own challenges.
Yes.
That's why we now have kind of two sectors that are running parallel, which is a formal one that we have been now discussing, and we also have the informal one, which I think most the public perception has been that it's not really something that people value or they appreciate. But as a ministry, we have now come to realize that we need to make some efforts to make sure that the informal sector also is brought into the mainstream of the economy.
Absolutely.
So what we have done, we have worked on a policy now to address that is specific on informal economy. And the policy is called Informal Economy Startup and Entrepreneurship Development. It was approved by Cabinet last year. And we, as a ministry, we are busy now working on the implementation plan.
Fantastic. So
that we spell out clear responsibilities and all the involved, the coordination and all institutions that will be involved in the success of the implementation of the policy.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Ms. Kanime, just to, of course, remaining on that question as well, the formalization of the informal sector. I know BIPA, of course, also has an awareness creating arm to it, the mandate of informing the public, about certain matters, etc. Talk to us about how you approach informal traders to convince them about, the perks, the benefits of formalizing their businesses. And I also just want to, Mr. Ntinda, to also just think about this in the meantime before I come back to him, as far as, there are fears about the formalization of a business, fears around heavy tax burdens, etc., heavy penalties or whatever other penalties they may incur. Just talk to us about these perceptions as well.
Yeah, for the formalization of companies, for business entities, for those who want to formalize their companies or their businesses, we've been having stakeholders engagements all over the country. So we are advising the community or the Namibian people, the business people, to come forth and legalize their entities or their businesses to register their businesses, and we've been engaging with them the advantages of having a formalized entity or business registered with us, that you are going to have a company, what do I say, you are going to have a business at the banks, financial institutions.
Yes.
They are going to recognize you, and they are going to give you an account where you can just make use of your business incomes and all the transactions. So it's one of the benefits. And also when they tenders, so people cannot just take your business just like that. You must make sure that you have a business registered and you have a certificate of registration from BIPA. It's only when they are going to consider you. And also the other thing, social security, they cannot just register your business like that if you don't have a registered entity by BIPA. So everything that you want to do in this country, especially when you want to to do a business transaction, they will ask you, do you have a certificate from BIPA? So that's why we are saying, come to BIPA, do your formalization of your business so that you can have a certificate to benefit from all this, especially that right now as we are talking. If you come visit us at our stand, the youth, they are doing it. They want to formalize their businesses so that they can partake in the fund that was introduced. Yes.
Ms. Ntinda, just about those fears around, the formalization of their business. Now you may be subjected to tax. I remember, of course, our former finance minister as well, Carla Schletvan, said there's potential in formalizing the informal sector, as of course government can also collect taxes from that particular sector. Let's talk to us about some of these perceptions, around why businesses choose to remain informal, because it's cheaper, perhaps, they are not subjected to tax, etc., and how they stand to sort of benefit should they formalize their business here, and what they stand to benefit here.
Yes, actually, yes, as much as we have been appreciating formalization of businesses, that comes also with responsibilities in terms of compliance, we should also acknowledge and appreciate the other sector, which is the informal one. The fears, yes, for one to formalize will always be there, as I'm saying, because of perhaps compliance issues.
Yes.
But the good thing, for instance, on issues of tax, it's kind of a provisional for businesses. And it's a provisional in the sense that an enterprise can only be able to pay tax when they have made profit. And it doesn't mean that when you have a registered business, you automatically are obliged to pay tax, even though there is nothing to be paid. Yeah. So, and obviously the benefits that comes with formalization, you will be able even to engage into contractual agreements. Yeah, you will be able to
become credit worthy.
Yes, you will even be even credit worthy, and you will be even to do both domestic and international transactions or businesses when you are formalized. So there shouldn't be much fear of one when you have to be formalized, as long as you just pay attention on what is required from you of what needs to be done. And our agencies, now in this case BIPA, they have been doing their best in terms of outreach, so that they educate the general public and the aspiring entrepreneurs, so that they know what need to be done for them to remain compliant.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Mr. Apinge, there's also this perception, from an informal perspective, that standards and testing is not accessible, it's not affordable. Maybe you can speak to us from NSI's perspective. What have you done to make standard and testing accessible, affordable for small businesses? Talk to us about that, yes. Okay,
thank you. Standard is one of the core function for NSI, in which we establish and adopt and do sale and training for this standard. What we have done in the past few years regarding the SME is we have a training calendar, and most of them is free for awareness to our SME, just to ensure they are aware what is happening in terms of how do you go on about standard, how do you go on about your certification of your product and your company. So what we recently started doing is we have training that cover countrywide, in which our standard department goes out there and do training for the SME. And so far we are getting positive feedback. The SME are coming through. An example, I would say, the SME that are doing, an example, manufacturing or this coming up with a detergent, they have no idea how do you go on about it. So now NSI come in which we give you now we give you the training on the standard. How do you go on about if you want to do the detergent? Because now NSI is there to safeguard the consumer. We want to ensure if Mr. Ndishishi is to use that, there will be no rashes after that.
Exactly.
So that is where we come in, and we are doing public awareness. We have a training calendar that we always publish in the newspaper and also on the social media, just to reach a wide range of the SME. And what we also recently just established, we have to work closely with the Ministry of Industry, Mine and Energy. Since then, they have a specific department for SME, where we now have also to share information regarding the standard, how do you go on about certification of your product and services, so they can share with the SME. Since for them, they are in a better position to reach a wide range of the SME.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And just remaining with you, Ms. Apinge, of course, Mr. Ntinda just touched on the issue of exports. I apologize to our viewers. Of course, we are outside here at the Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair Center, so you will be hearing a lot of natural sounds around us here. But just remaining on the issue of exports, Ms. Apinge, which Mr. Ntinda also, of course, touched on, how crucial is standards compliance, for our SMEs, especially in a time when we're talking about the African Continental Free Trade Area. The Ministry of International Relations and Trade is currently busy with consultations as well to see how local businesses can benefit, from this agreement. And we speak of exports. How important is it that, our MSMEs, of course, comply with these standards should they want to trade regionally as well as perhaps internationally even? Yeah?
Thank you. The advantage that come with your products being of a high standard or certification is that it allows you to trade not only locally but international. So, and that is why now we are doing the awareness, just to ensure that the SME, they come forth to NSI to seek more information regarding the standard and the certification. And we also, don't forget, we have another department that does testing and inspection. And for products to be export or import, it have to pass all those tests, the inspection and the testing, to ensure that it's safe for all the consumer. Yes.
Of course, there are consequences for non-compliance, BIPA authority. Let's talk about some of the consequences, of course, should one not comply. Those who may be registered even and who do not comply, of course, with some of your requirements. Talk to us about that, yeah.
Okay. For the non-compliant, let me say our business registered entities, if you have registered your company and you don't comply, for example, the beneficiary ownership and the annual duty payments. So you have to pay your annual duty once your company is registered every year. You have chosen the month. You indicate on the first page of the CC1, there is a statement that says end of financial year. You indicate that you want to pay your annual duty in March or April or May. So you are requested to come to BIPA and comply to pay your annual duty. Otherwise, there will be penalties that will be added to your fee if you don't come on time. And now, because of the new law that was established in 2023 of beneficiary ownership, you are also required to submit your beneficiary form.
Yes.
You complete it, you declare that you are the beneficiary owner of that entity. A beneficiary owner can also be just the person that benefits from the entity. It does not mean that you are the member of the entity, you are the only beneficiary owner. You can also have people that are not in the entity that are benefiting from that. So you need to come and declare at BIPA so that your business can be compliant.
Very much.
Yes.
Currently, of course, we have a very concerning situation as far as beneficiary ownership is concerned. This week, of course, you held a press conference. You went through a rigid beneficiary ownership exercise, of course, calling on the public to step forward and, of course, ensure that they provide the necessary paperwork. Also, of course, just reconfirm with BIPA whether this business is still in its initial structure. How big of a problem is this for you as a business authority?
This one now, this mass deregistration that was just launched today as we are talking for the non-compliant entity for beneficiary ownership. We are really requesting, and please come forth before you get your entity being deregistered. We have started today. If your entity is in that list of non-compliant, we are starting to deregister. So your entity will be like none. It will be considered as it was never registered. So if later on, if you want to come and reapply or to restore it, you have to pay all the years that you were not trading, that you let us deregister it, and then you need to comply now with the beneficiary ownership. So there will be a fee.
So it's best to follow procedure from the beginning.
Yes, let's follow procedure so that you cannot fall in this.
Very much so.
Yes.
Ms. Ntinda, the informal market is known for its flexibility and its resilience, and that's really what makes the informal market. It's a very flexible space, also a very resilient space. It has survived pandemics and continues to survive, and it's often called the backbone of many economies. How do we strike the balance, between the qualities of this sector, which is a resilient, sector, a flexible sector, but of course also with the need to formalize the sector here?
Yes, Ndishishi, before I come to your question, I just want also to add on my colleague when it comes to standards, SME standards development. We have partnered with NSI. We just recently finished training over 200 micro, small and medium entrepreneurs on agro-processing as well as cosmetic standards. This is what we call PRP, prerequisite program. And they were taken through the processes of what is required. For instance, if you are processing, say, a biscuit, what from the ingredients up to the final product packaged, the processes that the minimum requirement for one to go through or you have to adhere to, so that at least that product meet a certain level of quality. So we have worked on that under our program for training and mentorship, and we will continue doing so also in other sectors to come. Now, on the informal economy as a lifeline for many, what the ministry is trying to do is that, as I have alluded to earlier, is that we have developed now the policy. Now that policy has proposed some strategies that will try to transform the sector. Now, the strategies touches on issues like the registration. What the policy is proposing is to say that if an individual who is in an informal economy is registered with Social Security or registered with a local authority, that should be sufficient enough to be used for statistics, that should be enough to be used for any support services of that sector. And what we are also, what the policy also is saying on the strategy, for instance, on the issue of regional, local town planning schemes, what the policy is saying, just to incorporate the sector into the mainstream of the economy, is to say that when these institutions at different levels are planning for town planning schemes, they should make a provision for informal traders. For instance, if a private developer got a land and they need to develop, for instance, a mall, a shopping mall,
Yes.
there should be a provision for even infrastructure for informal,
Exactly.
proper infrastructure,
Exactly.
with abolition amenity, water, running water, and all the cleanliness, so that we incorporate them into the mainstream of the economy. That's what the policy is proposing. And even when it comes to access to finances, what the policy is proposing is to say that these individuals, obviously some of them, they are already doing bank transactions. Now those bank transactions should be adequate enough for the financial institution to develop products that can fund these players in the sector.
Very much.
And we, the policy is also talking on issues, for instance, to organize the sector in terms of advocacy, when you are talking about, for instance, trade unions, bodies that speak on behalf of the sector, so that they are well organized and their voice can be heard at any level, whether domestic or even abroad. And the policy is even also trying to touch on things, for instance, on social safety nets, to say that when it comes to social security, when it comes to employees' compensation, these players in these sectors should be treated, if an individual, for instance, is registered. They are in the informal sector, and they are registered, for instance, for that. They should be able to benefit. They should be able to, even the Pension Fund Act should, I think, should be amended to accommodate the informal players, so that there should be a provision for them to have some contribution that are made, so that, for instance, if they are out in retirement, they should be able to benefit also from a specific pension fund. So these are the reforms that are proposed in the strategies of the policy, so that it brings the sector into the mainstream of the economy.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I hope that these will not just remain proposals, Mr. Ntinda. How deliberate are we in, of course, executing these proposals? Where are we right now as far as that policy is concerned here?
Yes, as I have initially stated, the policy was approved by Cabinet. Now, the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy is busy developing the implementation plan. Now, the implementation plan now will be able to realize the actualization of the implementation of the policy. And the implementation plan has even to identify who are the key stakeholders that will coordinate the implecation of the policy. So that, yes, the ministry will remain the champion, but we cannot operate alone for the success of the implementation of the policy. Hence, we will need other key stakeholders that will be outlined in the plan.
Very much indeed. Ms. Kanime, I would like to underscore a very important function of your entity as well, and of course a very important function within the business space, which is that of intellectual property. A lot of these businesses stand to lose their intellectual property, so to say, as well. We're here at the trade fair, and there's a beautiful example I want to use where there's a business owner here who converted, was making pasta out of Mahangu. And I just want to use that as an example. With the lack of formalization as well, how do these businesses put their intellectual property at risk by not formalizing it? Please speak to us about that.
Yeah, intellectual property, yeah, that's a good one. They are really doing a good job here. You can see they are innovative,
yes.
innovating,
Yeah.
very innovative, but they are not coming forth to BIPA to register their intellectual property.
Yeah.
We also encourage our people, especially here in the northern part of the country. They really have they are very innovative, but they do not have this knowledge that they need to come to BIPA to formalize their intellectual properties. They must come forth at BIPA. Like right now, I just want to inform the people of the northern part of the country that BIPA have an office in Ongwediva. It was officially opened in April, so make your way to BIPA Ongwediva. We are at David Chikomba. We are here to cater for the 5 regions. Oceana region, we are here for you. Ohangwena region, come forth. Omusati region, and Oshikoto, as well as Kunene region. Those regions, we are catering for them here at Oceana. We are here with the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy, just here by David Chikomba Business Park. For the northern people, please come forth so that you can get your service, get your company registered and formalize your intellectual property as well. We are here to assist you.
Very much indeed. Mr. Ipinga, as Mr. Ntinda rightfully said, we cannot operate in silos. Collaboration is key. Talk to us about perhaps some of the recommendations that you have, the thoughts that you have in, and how we can work together to truly create an enabling ecosystem for our MSMEs, pardon me. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. As a regulatory body, NSI, we are the advocate for the standard.
Yeah.
The only recommendation I will say is to work close with the Ministry of Industry, Mine and Energy.
Yes.
If we are working together, we can make it, and we can make a large awareness to our SME out there.
Very much indeed. Just from your side as well as the NSI, you remain committed to, of course, informing the public, about what's required of them, especially businesses, business entities, etc. Here at the trade fair, what has been the feedback? What has been the response? What have been some of the common queries as well from the general public as far as standards are concerned? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Maybe just to be honest, before I answer your question,
Yeah.
it's so surprisingly, people are not aware about NSI. It's so shocked when people are thinking it's an institution, it's NAST. So we now, the representative of NSI, we are here to, just for visibility, first of all visibility, so that people are aware there is NSI there, an important organization that we cannot escape. For our local product to be out there, it has to go through the standard. It has to be inspection and testing of all this product. So we have been getting lots of requests. So it will be a busy one when we go back to the office. So the public and the SME, they want to know more about NSI. So now is our duty when we go back. We need now to spread the news. They have left their email address, so we'll share the email address, in which most of them also they requested for training for all this standard, especially for our SME, especially on the cosmetic and manufacturing. They are very much interested because they are also just asking, how do I put my spice in Pick and Pay shelf? You get it. And it's supposed to be through us, all this packaging, otherwise, because now we also made it an aware that for your product and also just to get a fare of your product, because you are working hard, an example, to make this marula oil or jove, our grandparents back home.
Yes.
So for it to go now in the Spa or Pick and Pay, it have to pass through us.
Exactly.
So we can do the testing. Is this really safe for the consumer? If the answer is yes, then you are good to go. So we are so happy that now in the past, this is the 10th day, the public are much aware what is happening by NSI. It's so shocked. Now we keep asking, if you go to the service station, you should have seen this sign.
Somewhere.
Yes, any service station, we are out there because we have to do the calibration of this pump.
Yeah.
So it's an important organization. So we are out here for visibility, for awareness to the public, so they just ensure and aware what is NSI,
Yes.
what are we doing.
Very much.
So basically that is two main reasons. We are here for awareness, just to educate the public what is happening, what is NSI, and how do we link with the Ministry of Industry, Mine and Energy.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm glad you touched on the retail side of things. And oftentimes, what our small businesses feel is maybe there's no shelf space for my product in the big retail outlets, Is there space for Namibian products on Namibian shelves? That's my question to you.
Definitely there is a space. But as he alluded, you just have to go through the procedure.
Exactly.
The procedure are there to be followed because NSI overall, even our vision or mission, we are here to safeguard the consumer. We need to protect.
True.
So for the product to go in the shelf of any store, it have to be certified by NSI. It have to be tested. And so that's why we do certification of products and services. So, but to answer your question, there is a space, but you just have to go through the procedure.
Very much.
Yes, which is smooth if you follow all the instructions.
Very much indeed. Mr. Ntinda, Namibia finds itself at a very interesting juncture. Of course, we are exploring renewable energy. We are exploring some of the older energies as well, the oil and gas, for instance. And to be honest, we're at a very exciting point as a country, as a nation. And my question to you is, where do you see the MSME sector fall within these new discoveries, with these new explorations? And, how can these MSMEs also position themselves to play a key role in these new and emerging sectors here?
Yes, Dishishi, thanks for the question. Well, I think a lot is happening in Namibia.
A lot indeed.
Yeah, it's happening in Namibia.
A good lot.
Yeah. So, one is that I think the lowest hanging fruits will be, for instance, service provisions in most of these emerging sectors. And also it could be that because the challenge that we have in terms of machineries and equipment, we don't really have much here done locally, so most of it's the import. So I will say in the service they will do good, but they also need to for them to get ready in terms of skills. In terms of skills, so that when you are talking about oil and gas, they should be able also to understand the dynamics around the sector. So when they understand that and also try to scale up on their understanding, they will be in the better position to compete with others locally and also internationally. Yeah, so
very exciting times for Namibia indeed. Ms. Kanima, just coming back to, of course, the issue of awareness raising, the issue of partnership, collaboration. When it comes to local authorities, community-based organizations, etc., many of the informal sector exists on a grassroots level. Talk to us about how you are engaging some of those stakeholders to get the message across to the informal traders here.
Yeah, those ones we actually engaging through the regional councils. Yes. They are the one. We've been receiving invites for stakeholder engagement for the informal. They are really coming through whenever they call us out. We go do a presentation. Some of them, they never heard of BIPA and how to formalize their businesses, things like that. They are coming through. Whenever we do an engagement, I've been doing some. I was invited to Oshikuku. I did some in Ndangwa at the regional. They've been calling us through. So we are busy here. We are busy.
And often what happens, with it's the jargon.
Yes,
Let me
it
see,
is.
the language that we use.
Yes.
Especially BIPA, I find myself also very confused sometimes, filling out those forms, etc. I think it's a very important aspect to make sure that the message, of course, does get through at the end of the day. Your approach once more, vernacular, etc.,
Yeah.
your radio platforms, for those, the communities living with disabilities, etc. Talk to us about how you also go about those here.
Yeah, those ones, we are doing it. I just told you that we have just opened the office. It was officially, we moved to the north last year, November, but it was officially open in April this year.
Yeah.
But through our regional offices, they are coming through with the invites. They are also, we are also trying to get an office where to be fit for service for all, to cater for all disability and those. So as time goes,
Fantastic.
things will happen and then we'll make business ease. We are here to make business ease.
Very much indeed.
Yes.
Of course, this is a conversation that we can unpack for the rest of the trade fair. But just as we conclude our discussion, talk to us about your final sentiments, your message, of course, to the audience, to the public, and just the importance of complying, with the set standards and regulations here. Ms. Kanima?
Yeah, for my final word here, I just want to encourage all the business owners to come through to BIPA, especially for those ones that find their entity are in the deregistration list.
Yes.
Please come through so that you can do the right thing in order for your entity not to lose out, for the account will be blocked or closed. You will not have anything to do with the business anymore because it will be null and void. So, and for the new, especially for the youth, we are here. I know you are coming through. Please come through, but this is not our end. If Ongwediva Trade Fair ends tomorrow, we have an office at David Shikomba Business Park. Make your way there to register your company in order to participate in the fund that is. And for those that have registered their company also, that are not in an active list, come through so that you can just comply. Come and submit your BO. The application form is for free. The BO, you do not pay anything. It's just your attached ID copy that you need to bring to us so that your BO can be compliant with us. And then all be well that you can trade fair and free in the country to benefit from all those things that the country have to offer.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Ipinga, your concluding sentiments as we conclude our discussion?
Thank you. Maybe my last final word, it's really for us working together with Ministry of Industrial, Mine and Energy, just to do a wide awareness to our SME and the whole nation that we have Namibian Standard Institution, which is a standard body that regulates all the standards. We do certification, we do inspection of products. So, because now we are with a nation that are stuck, how do I go on about this? But if we can work collaboration with the ministry that work closely, especially with the SME, we can achieve our mandate and our vision. Thank you.
Very much indeed. And of course, we leave to the champion the last comment for the session. Mr. Ntinda, over to you.
Yes, my concluding remarks is just to say that yes, we will continue collaborating so that we advance the micro, small and medium enterprises sector, as well as transform the informal sector into the mainstream of the economy. And the entrepreneurs and the general public should just be on the lookout also for our adverts, especially on trainings.
There's so many programs running.
As well as support programs, the grants, especially Equipment Aid Scheme, as well as IUMP, the Industrial Upgrading and Modernization Program. We normally send out adverts in print media, social media, as well as on our website, and it will come through soon. And also perhaps I just want also to touch on the issue I have observed recently with the call, the call for the National Youth Development Fund.
Yes.
We we have seen a high influx, which is a bit not manageable anymore when it comes to BIPA. Manpower in terms of business registration, because I think of the communication that was sent out there. The fund is not, the call that was sent out, it's just a pilot that is leading to the launch of the fund, whereby now the young entrepreneurs will start applying through the development financial institutions. In this case, for instance, Development Bank of Namibia, Agri-Bank, as well as Environmental Investment Fund.
Exactly.
So what I am urging the young people is just that they should not panic and also flood the system to say to register at once, to say for them to beat the deadline of the 4th of September. The 4th of September, that one is just for the pilot to launch the fund. But the actual operationalization of the fund will come immediately after the launch. So they have ample time, they have enough time for them to register their businesses. So with those few remarks, the general public, business people, they are welcome to visit our stand of the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy in the Queen's Hall, as well as our agencies.
Very much indeed. Thank you all so much for being with us. Ms. Helen Haipinge, Acting Corporate Communications Manager, Officer, pardon me, at the Namibia Standards Institute. We appreciate your input today. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Mr. Shigongeni Ntinda, Chief Economist at the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy, thank you for being with us and sharing your insights on this topical matter.
A pleasure.
And of course, Ms. Elsie Kanime, Senior Business Registration Officer at the Business and Intellectual Property Authority, thank you for being with us and sharing your insights on this matter.
Thank you for having me.
There you have it. That concludes our public information sharing session, of course, in collaboration with the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy, taking place here on the sidelines of the Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair. And this session essentially concludes, of course, what has been a week-long discussion, pardon me, as we brought you a number of conversations around electrification, around geosciences, around the illegal fuel smuggling, or Ngungula, if you will, the Solar Revolving Fund, and of course today unpacking that is MSME and the development of the informal sector. From myself and Ndishisha Mfungu, and of course all of these stakeholders here present during the course of the week, we appreciate you joining us for these conversations, and we hope we've brought some sense of enlightenment through these conversations. Thank you for being with us, and of course we'll see you next year, same time, same place. Until then, keep well.